This week on the Unpopular Opinion Show.
When Geico called me, I didn't even answer the phone. I knew it'd be big, but couldn't nobody have known that, it ended up being my pension plan. Man, 2015, when I left Strokers, I turned into an old nigga instantly. All the pain, all the sadness, all the joy, I used that shit. I have 4 lifetimes worth of pussy. I don't need no more. I'm good. Okay?
I think you need to say clearly what happened.
Who gives a fuck? I don't care if he personally hit Candace Owens and her stanky
cray.
No good thing starts with, I was thinking about my ex.
He ain't learned his lesson. That's a brother ain't gonna learn shit.
I know this is gonna be unpopular and I don't care.
Let's keep this shit funky.
Yes, y'all. What's happening? Welcome to another episode of the Unpopular Opinion Show, and Happy New Year, goddammit. Welcome to 2021. I'm T Storm, all alongside my partner, the one and only DJ Mike Swift. What's happening, homie?
What's going on, brother? First show of the new year. I'm excited. Big things coming this year.
Yeah, me too. Big things going on this year, and already, we in the first weekend, there's a bunch of bullshit started happening already, as if 2021 is just 2020 plus one. I mean, goddamn.
I'm looking for an email that the wonderful folks ever at YouTube sent us.
Oh boy.
Have you seen this email?
No, I have not.
All right, so for everybody watching, I'll put it up here, right? For everybody listening, I'll just kind of read through it. All right, so they sent, it says, the Unpopular Opinion Show. When 2020 went off script, you kept us inspired by uploading 2,332 minutes of content. Your hard work's worth celebrating. Let's take a moment to reflect. From your first video upload until now, your fans have smashed that like button 122 times. Your community's growing. They've left 47 comments and shared your video 70 times.
Okay. And
we joined 141 days ago.
Damn.
I went back and dug through some of the numbers. Here's some more. You made 2020 your own this past year. You gained 43 subscribers. That number has gone up since they sent this email. This email was sent mid-December.
Okay.
And 20,363 new views. Viewers spent 49,842 minutes watching your videos in 2020. Fans can't get enough of you, 120 likes. And that's pretty much it. And I dug back through the numbers, and those numbers have gone up actually considerably since they sent that email back in December 2012. So I just wanted to really kind of start this show off, the first show of the new year, thanking everybody who joined us, who's been rocking with us, friends of the show, Romany Malco, Kathy Sledge, Fat Man Scoop, Miss Illinois with the V Doctor.
Right.
That's my favorite interview of all so far. And we appreciate you, and we hope that you guys stick around and rock with us in 2021.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's good. That's good shit. Speaking of rocking with us in 2021, on part 2, well, if you're listening, this might be part 4 or something like that. But in any case, we have DC, the Brain Supreme of the tag team, joining us on this episode. So, if you haven't seen it yet, they just did a dope ass Geico commercial where they were featured. The group tag team was featured. And I reached out to DC, and he was like, sure, let's get it. We had a little convo or whatever. He got some stories, so I'm anxious to hear some of the things he's gonna share with us on today. So waiting for DC to join with us in a minute.
Definitely looking forward to that. Real quick, just because I like to get the sad stuff out of the way first so we can laugh for the rest of the hour. Absolutely. And I'm actually a little bit ashamed of myself that this got by me. Brother Ecstasy of Houdini.
Yeah, X passed
away on on just before Christmas on December 23rd.
Yeah, it was, man. So when I was a kid, first of all, Houdini is a big part of my youth. You know what I'm saying? Like, so first of all, I grew up in Brooklyn, New York. I knew if back in the day there was Run DMC and there was Houdini. Houdini rep Brooklyn. Before the Fat Boy, I won't say before the Fat Boys. There's Fat Boys and then Houdini did their thing too. But around the same era, around the same time, Houdini was beating up the airwaves with massive hits. And it wasn't, you know what I'm saying, no denying that they were more than just a hip hop group. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so when I got of age and I started, you know, wanting to DJ or whatever, I started buying records. My first record, the first records I bought, I saved up some little change. I had, for those who from New York City understand, I rode downtown Brooklyn to Fulton Mall. Well, it's called Fulton Mall now. It used to be called Albee Square Mall. That's a whole nother story. But on Fulton Street, there was The Wiz. There's a record store and appliance store and electronic store called The Wiz. They had appliances downstairs, and then upstairs was where all the records was. And I went upstairs, I went up there, and I took my little, you know, money I had saved up from working with my grandfather, and I purchased 2 records. I had enough just to get 2. I got the single of One Love by Houdini, and then I got the 45 of Orange Juice Jones in the Rain. And that's what started my record collection back in 1980. What was that, 84, 85, 86, 7? Well, I don't even know, but I know, I remember, you know, mid-80s sometime, that's when I bought those, and I wasn't even like a teenager yet. That was like, I had to be like 11, 12. I went and bought those records, man. So rest in peace to Ecstasy. And my condolences to his entire family, his, you know, Jalil, and Grandmaster D as well as X's brother. Just, you know, my condolences to you know, to the whole family. I saw some clips, like Jalil had posted some clips up, or somebody posted some clips up of Jalil at the funeral, at the, like, I guess it was made the repast, where they performed Friends in his honor.
Okay.
It was a touching tribute, you know what I mean? And heartbreaking at the same time, because you could see how hurt Jalil was. I mean, they you know, been together since they was kids, you know what I mean? So to have to bury your friend like that, that's you know.
My favorite record for them cats was the Rap Attack joint, Mr. Magic's Rap Attack joint.
Okay.
That joint, oh my God, that record is still hot, right? And then when I was down in Tallahassee, it was a couple of cats out of New York.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even remember which part of New York they were from, but they started doing promotions and stuff, and they hired me to DJ their parties.
Right.
Even when I moved back to Atlanta, I was like shooting down there on the weekends to do like a Friday, Saturday gig for them and then shoot back.
Yeah.
But the name of their promotions company was One Love Productions. So we would always open the night and end the night with that record, One Love.
Wow.
So it's just fond memories of that. And, you know, I saw that Jermaine made a post. Jermaine started his career with Houdini.
Dancer for them, yeah.
As a dancer.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, the ATL connection there, man. I felt, you know,
and then
I was like, God, how did this slip by? Like, how did I let this get by without knowing? You know what I mean? We haven't done a show. This is the first show we've done since before Christmas. So this would have been the first time that we could have talked about it. But still, just for my own edification, I mean, I was kind of bummed that I missed that.
Yeah, there was a few things, man. But not to stay on the, you know, on the dark tip. Yeah, rest in peace to
and then,
Ecstasy.
MF Doom. Rest in peace to MF Doom.
MF Doom as well. I didn't realize, you know what's funny?
Like
I didn't realize. Yeah, he passed, actually at the end of October, and his family didn't, you know, let people, you know, release a statement about it until December 31st or the 30th or whatever it was. I didn't realize that MF Doom, because I'm be honest, I wasn't into his catalog like that. But I do remember, was it Zed Love X, from he was featured on Third Base's Gas Face, and then the group that he was in. What was the name of the group? Oh man, it's bugging me. I don't remember off the top of my head, but I didn't realize that was the same. I
always get him.
You know what I mean?
I always get his original group confused with UMC's.
KMD.
Always do that, but it's not UMC's. KMD. Yep, that's it.
I don't know. You're breaking up a little bit. KMD is the group.
Gotcha.
Yeah. But yeah. So yeah, rest in peace to and condolences to his family as well, man. Tiny Lester,
Yeah, we talked about Tiny.
Talked about him. And
I think all that last show that we did.
Yeah, right before, all that back to back to back, right before, New Year's, as if 2020 was like, I ain't done yet. So
just when you thought it was safe.
Mm-hmm.
And folks, obviously we're gonna talk about Trump and the siege on
Trump is the bad president.
We told you.
Yeah.
Long time ago. My child
what's crazy? And
told us.
We're gonna get into this deeper probably in the after show or another episode. We're gonna, because there's a lot to talk about today. We're probably gonna go a little bit longer than what we normally go. Hey.
Here he comes. Ladies and gentlemen, you know the voice. You've seen the face. You've danced to the song. DC, the brain supreme of tag team, is in the building. What's happening? I know the brother. Or we will get his video when he get his video popping. You got your video on?
Can you hear me?
We can hear you.
Yes, sir.
We can hear you. We can't see you
All
though.
right, let me.
There he is. All right. Such a distinguished gentleman. You wear the gray nicely, brother.
What's going on, good people?
Good, man.
Nothing much, man.
How you been?
Hey, man, I'm blessed. For real.
Absolutely, right. We on this side of the, on this side of the planet. So on the upside of it. So yeah, that's a blessing in itself, man.
Yeah.
Thanks for joining us, man.
Mm-hmm.
Congrats on the Geico commercial. Now, I sent it to Mike when I first of all, I saw it when you posted it, and then I looked it up on YouTube. I was cracking up. I had to watch about 340 times or so.
Yeah.
And here's some audio from it.
Tasha, did you know Geico could save you hundreds on car insurance and a whole lot more? So what are you waiting for? Hip-hop group tag team to help you plan dessert?
French vanilla, rocky road, chocolate, peanut butter.
The girl start dancing. The dude come and start dancing.
When the daddy come in and bust a move, to me, that's the best part of the whole thing, because it just brings it all together.
Geico. Switch today and see
They
all
was
the
both
ways.
killing it too. It's like, they really into it. Like that's our people for real. You know what I mean?
And that's one of the reasons, that's one of the reasons it's kind of dear to me, because, that's a black commercial.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
It appeals to everybody, right?
Yeah.
So, and it's just been a cool little ride so far.
Yeah. That's dope.
Kudos to them for calling you up to do that. And like you said, it appeals to everyone. But a lot of times what we'll see from big companies when they want to make a black commercial, it appeals to the least common denominator. But what you guys did, it was regular black people in a moment where they remembered their youth, they remembered that hit, and they were in it, and it felt really good, man. It felt really good.
I mean, I can break it down for you, because, a lot of people, here's how my life goes. See, I'm an actor and a voice artist, right? So I've been doing that for a minute. I stopped DJing in like 2015. I just didn't want to be a 50-year-old DJ, right? So it's crazy, because the acting side doesn't know about Whomp There It Is, and the music industry side doesn't know that I act, do voiceover, write screenplays, do videography, cinematography, and all of that. So it's like both the worlds are colliding in spectacular fashion, right? And when Geico called me, I didn't even answer the phone. and this is a testament, right? Because I didn't answer the phone because, I have a different phone for the tag team line. And I was going to call back, but I do SEO, right? Search engine optimization. I'm real versed in websites, Google ads, marketing, advertising, the whole nine. And I laid great breadcrumbs because the key for any artist, but especially older artists or more mature artists, is that people have to be able to find you, right? So you have to lay those breadcrumbs. And because I'm an actor, Geico went to IMDb, which is where all the actors are, called my agent. And my agent called me. And then I was like, well, shoot, I could do it. But then I was like, nah, break bread with the agent. Let them do it because that's what they do. Because I do commercials and stuff like that all the time. So I was like, you guys work this commercial. And we got together, had a big meeting, worked it. And I can tell you, I got way more with them representing me than I probably would have got any other way. So it worked out perfect. And, that's the first part of it. Then just preparing for the whole spot. It took all the classes I went to, all the acting knowledge that I had, improv worked perfect for this commercial. And I prepared for about a month. And the day before the commercial, we had a fitting. And we had a Zoom with the director. And went to the director. I was like, yo, I got some ideas. I want to run them by you. He's like, anything you want to do, DC. And the first one, I was like, well, I'm going to get this apparatus made to go around my hand so I can have a spinning scoop. But we didn't have time to do it, right? He was like, okay. I was like, whoa. And then I just spilled all the ideas to him. And I could say we shot all my ideas. They could probably do two commercials out of all the footage that we shot. But those were the best ones. Like the sprinkles, that's LeBron James at the scorer's board before he goes into the game. He throws up the chop and does that. That's LeBron James, but with sprinkles. Like, for me, it was special because my father used to sit me and my little brother in the driveway. And we used to make ice cream. We had an ice cream maker with the crank, old school. Yeah. And then we got an electric one. So we used to make our own ice cream. We'd be in the driveway taking turns, getting that ice cream, turning that ice cream until it was ready. So my goal was to make it fun. And my goal was to make it to where if any child's looking at that commercial, they're going to look at their mother and their father and be like, I want to party like that. And that's what's happening. People sending me pictures where they done surprised their kids and recreated the commercial and all kind of crazy stuff. Wow. Man, every idea you had and everything you wanted to put out in the universe is coming back to you tenfold. And that's what I do. I give what I want first. So I bust my ass. I stay on offense. And it comes back to me. But I'm not sitting here waiting for it. I just grind, and then I look around and opportunities come my way. So,
So when you guys put that record together, did you have any idea that 30 years later, it would still be like the pinnacle of party song, right? It's when you think of party, when you think of a good time, that song pops up. As a DJ, if I went and played that song at a wedding tomorrow, everybody gonna jump up and start dancing. Every race, every age, every gender knows this record. Did you have any idea that record would have that kind of impact?
I knew it'd be big, but couldn't nobody have known that, it ended up being my pension plan. You know what I'm saying? Couldn't nobody have figured that one out. And, you say 30 years later, 27 years later, but, people don't know what we've been through. You know what I'm saying? Like we've been through life. And, it takes a certain amount of seasoning and maturity and experience to even be able to handle it after all these years and work on it in a position to where, you know, it's still relevant, right? And that comes from, you know, doing shows and networking and making sure people understand that, you know, this is a classic. Sometimes people, you know, I was getting like really grinding for shows. People are like, well, you only got one song. I was like, dude, but I got the song, right? And it's like, well, can you do an hour? I'm like, yep, I sure can. But because I've been a DJ for 30 years, I DJ for 45 minutes. Because I know all I got to do is go back to the 90s and do the set I used to do in the club. So it's easy, right? And then I start taking comedy classes so I could have, not to, you know, tell jokes, but to have nice segues and entertaining segues, you know, before we play songs that nobody's never heard before. Because all they want to hear is Whomp, right? So you become an entertainer rather than just a rapper up there killing time, right? And that's what we did. You know, I mean, I would get up there and I would be talking shit and they'd be laughing. They wouldn't even think they was at a concert. But then boom, we hit them with a record, 2 minutes, bam, I'm back into segue. Talking, playing with them, having a good time, you know, and then boom, then we're done, right? It's that simple. So, you know, we could do concerts, we could do anything because we're entertainers. And that had to evolve. We had to evolve into that. And then now, I mean, you know, it kind of, I'm not going to say that it sucks because, you know, we got a Geico commercial where we can't go do shows. But, you know, I got a Geico commercial. I can go do a whole bunch of other stuff too. I'm not crying over that because can't nobody do no. It'd be different if a whole bunch of other people were doing shows and we weren't doing anything. But ain't nobody doing no shows for another 2 years. I don't care what nobody say. Ain't no arenas gonna be packed. Ain't nobody sitting close to each other for a long time because it's just it's too many people that are on both sides. Everybody trying to do their own thing. Just ignorance. It's just too much. So it's gonna take some time. So for me, you know, I'm an actor. You know what I mean? I'm a voice artist. Is that what you? So I was going to ask you, like, since the pandemic, you know what I'm saying? What have you been doing to stay sane, two, to keep busy? Like, I mean, you did commercial in the middle of that. So I can tell you, this has been 2020 was one of the greatest years of my life, right? Because so I'm 54 and I started acting 3 years ago. I started voiceover about 10 years ago. Voiceover is hard because I come from our world, come from the MC world, come from the DJ world. So my hubris thinks that I can do anything. And I run up on professional people thinking I could do voiceover. And they're like, this ain't what you're trying to do. This ain't that. And I had to really, you know, I got frustrated because I thought, you know, these people don't know what they're doing. I know what I'm doing, right? You know, just thinking that because of who I am or just, you know, just being confident, right? And, you know, when the pandemic hit, I booked a national Pizza Hut commercial, like this Geico commercial, on a strength. And it got snatched because it was for March Madness, right? But I didn't care because I got picked. I got booked, right? Because I've done a lot of local and regional commercials, but I hadn't done a national commercial yet. And I got booked for that thing, and it was perfect. And that was my formula to go into audition. So at the beginning of the pandemic, it was just a great sign. And then I just, you know, I said, you know what? Stop. What the hell you gonna do? You know? Because, I mean, you could be hustling, you could be grinding, you could be revving that engine. But if you stuck in mud, you ain't going nowhere, right? And that's what a lot of people do. I'm hustling, I'm grinding. Yeah, but where are you going? What are you doing? You gotta hustle smarter than you've been hustling, right? So I just asked myself that question: what the hell are you gonna do? What can you do right now to make you some money? And I was like, no, I can't do that. Can't do that. Voiceover. And I went back to the beginning, 2008, when I started going to New York, started flying to LA, and training with some of the best voice talents and voice coaches in the game. And I recorded every class that I went to. So I said, go in there, organize all that stuff, and just start from scratch and go over again. And to hear me talk 10 years ago, 12 year ago, DC, and to hear how I thought about life and what I thought things were and how wrong I was about shit and just all over the place, it was heartbreaking. Because it's like you get to go back and you get to, it's like you get to go back in a time capsule and see yourself, right?
Yeah.
And I'm listening and I suck at voiceover. And I listen that they trying to tell me, they teaching me the right thing, but I'm not listening, right? Because I think I know. And it taught me a lot about myself. And I think that's the best thing that could ever happen to me. Taught me that sometimes you need to shut the fuck up and listen, right? And I just started over and started filling in all the holes and the weaknesses in my game. And, if you can't dribble with your left hand, you're not going to be an all-star point guard. So I had to find a tutor to teach me how to dribble with my left hand. You know what I mean? And that analogy relates to voiceover, relates to acting, relates to music production. You know what I mean? I've been so many opportunities in the past because I can't, I stopped producing music. It's almost like, and I said I'd never do that again because I did that with when they went from vinyl to CDJs. I was like, I'll never do that. I'm old school. And then, I was left out in the wilderness because it was irrelevant. It had passed me by. And I said, I'll never do that again. And the pandemic was the perfect chance to reiterate that and bring that back into my life. So February, March, I was just every day, get up 4 o'clock, grind, listen to them tapes. Oh, I get it. Oh, man, you're not talking fast enough. You're talking slow. Wait a minute, that's not realistic. Wait a minute, you got to be a little bit more realistic now. No, you can't be radio. You gotta be conversational like we are now. Right. So I can say voiceover like we talking now, and that's why I'm booking like crazy because I got a great voice, but I didn't know how to use it. Now I have mastery over my voice more than I've ever had in my life. And then in April, my acting coach from LA gave me a call. It's like, you willing to travel? I was like, yeah, I'll go anywhere. What's up, coach? Just like, I got a movie for you. And it's my first movie. She said it's in Nebraska. It's in Nebraska. So I flew to Nebraska, alcoholed up, masked up, strapped up.
I'm about to say, how many black folks did you see when you got off the plane?
Man. But I really never trip off that because, I'm ambidextrous. I know how to deal with it. You know what I'm saying? If you don't, you're gonna be stuck, right? You miss out on a lot. And then I'm from Denver, Colorado, went to school in California. So, I come from a community where, our school was segregated, but all the white kids was cool. We was all cool. We was all best. Some of them is my best friends today. Some of my best friends in colleges are white. I went to school and it was nothing, right? Because I've always been around that. I didn't really experience racism until I moved to Atlanta, Georgia. Then I got kind of hardened a little bit. But I'm still ambidextrous. I still can go anywhere I want to go. So I'm in Nebraska, and this is the week George Floyd got killed.
Wow.
I left that Wednesday, and we shot Thursday, Friday, and we all on our phones, just looking at the world collapse. But I'm in Nebraska in the middle of a cornfield, and can see every star in the sky, and just with good people. And sometimes you just gotta stop and just know when you're being shined upon. You know what I'm saying? And shot the movie, came back to Atlanta. It looked like it was just Armageddon down here. It was like cops everywhere, National Guard rolling in. Stores had been looted around the corner. Like, it was just crazy. So that was my first movie called My Corona. It's coming out soon. And
what's it called?
Kept grinding.
What's it called?
Kept grinding.
What's it called?
My Corona.
What's the movie called?
It's actually a great concept. We shot a movie called My Corona about shooting a movie in a pandemic. So you shoot the movie in the pandemic, but it's really about a documentary. It's a movie and there's a documentary. So the documentary is a documentary about what it was like to shoot a movie in COVID, right? So it just, that's something that this director had, he had an idea about, and I was like, let's do it. Because they picked me, you know what I'm saying? It's like, when you're an actor, I've been through hundreds of auditions and didn't get picked, right? Mm-hmm. I think, that's true, but I'm talking about like, you're going to get little stuff. Like I started acting in November 2017 and February 2018, I booked my first barbecue commercial. So it didn't take me long because, I know what to do. I got a lifetime of experience, so I'm going to get to it, right? Eventually.
Right.
And I just stayed. I went to class every day, stayed in class, just grind. So back to, April, May in the pandemic, I get another call. And they're like, we want you in this movie, Detective Thompson. It's called The Mediator. And it's in the middle of Georgia. And, talk about contrast, we roll up on a Confederate flag route, right? And everybody's freaking out. It's like, leave them folks alone. They in their own lane, we in our lane. Anybody gonna do nothing. And we shot inside a police station. That was unnerving too. While the police station was crunk. Wow. Yeah. So that was fun. And then it was though. And then, I just been booking for a lot of voiceover here and there. And then got the call from Geico.
That's fantastic.
And
that's fantastic.
Got the call from Geico and just booked the Tyler Perry House of Pain little joint. So it's popping. You know what I'm saying? And this is all before the Geico commercial. So I end up doing a lot of these podcasts, right? Because my goal, it's turned into this because my goal now is just to, give the game to everybody and just tell everybody what I wish somebody had told me when I was young.
So I'm happy to hear you say that. Because one of the things that I like to do when we have guests on the show is talk about their journey. Because I think a lot of times young people, especially, trying to get into music or acting or entertainment, they see the end result and they think it's just easy. I'll just go out here and get money. So can we talk about the journey from the beginning up to tag team, the success of tag team? And I know it was some downtime for you guys. And then what took you into acting?
It's always been fun for me. I've been a DJ my whole life. You know what I'm saying? It's like,
yeah.
I've had it good, man. I haven't had no downtime ever because I'm always DJing. I've DJed in every big club in Atlanta, DJed in strip clubs when nobody even knew there were strip clubs, right? I DJed at Magic City. I put the bricks on Magic City. DJ a club called Stroke. Like strip club money's just as good as show money.
I remember Strokers.
Yeah. I DJ everywhere.
Me too.
I think we all remember Strokers.
Yeah. So it's like, I'm having fun because I get to DJ, be around the most beautiful women in the world. It's like my fountain of youth. I never grew up, Man, 2015, when I left Strokers, I turned into an old nigga instantly. Instantly. It was like, why they doing that? I don't like that no more. How come I don't like that no more? Man, I thought I'd never say that.
That's
man,
funny.
Why do folks be all loud like that? Man, I ain't going nowhere. Boy, I turned into an old bro. I turned old so fast. And
yeah, I was going to. So you were in the strip clubs. This has been my story, and I stick to it. I rarely frequent the strip clubs unless there was something going on there, but always enjoyed myself when I went. So one time in particular, a friend of mine took me. He was promoting. It was Dungeon Family album, the DF, and so he was like, "Yo, T, I'm hitting the strip clubs. You want to ride?" I'm like, "Sure." All through Atlanta, all around Atlanta. I didn't even know there were this many strip clubs in Atlanta. And initially I was like, oh, this is exciting. By the end of the night, I was tired of strip clubs. You DJ'd in the strip club for, so many years. How did you not get tired of that?
I did. It was Groundhog Day. I mean, serious. It's good, but it's the thing to keep you going. You know, the money is what keeps you going is that, for me, a couple things. My expertise as a DJ, right? Like all the cats coming up don't know what I know. They don't know the fundamentals of it. They don't know how to go get the music. I got music. I would get music from every region in the country because Atlanta was a melting pot. So somebody from Texas was in the club. They're going to hear some Texas shit and they're going to be happy. Even if it's just 5-10 minutes, they're going to be happy because it blows them away that they in somewhere else and they hear what they hear in their hood, in my hood.
Yep.
Because I do my research. It could be somebody from I looked at every chart of every radio station all over the country every week. And every city, every city that has a radio station, they're going to play the hot song in the hood, whether it's on the mix show or whether it's number 54 on the chart. You know what I mean? On their playlist, they're going to play it. Yeah. And they report it. And when I see it, you know, ever since, you know, I know how to get everything. So when I see it, I download it and I got it in and then I test it. So I'm playing everything from Memphis. I'm playing Baltimore. I'm playing go-go. I'm playing reggae. I'm playing African music because we had a bunch of Africans that would come in and throw a bunch of money all the time. I had every song that was hot in Africa. Then I learned that Africa was separated by country. So what people like in Nigeria ain't the same as what they like in Zimbabwe or South Africa or Nigeria. You know what I'm saying? Like I went that deep into it, right? Wow. So that's what kept me going too, because my expertise, and that's how I made my money, being a good DJ. And, you know, I used to sell, back when there was record stores, I sold more mixtapes than anybody, but I kept it generic. I didn't have to be the rah-rah best DJ doing the mixtape thing. It was just about giving people good music in a mix, right? And when I finished, I think I finished with like 600 volumes of mixtapes. That's how many I used to make. They're called ATL party mixes, right? Nice generic cover, number this, number that. People would just come in the club just to get the mixes. Telling you, man.
And the wings. And the wings.
Huh?
And the wings.
Man. That's the wings is wings, especially when you're drunk. Right. You drink. Right. Wings are wings, okay? And then, you know, the other thing is, it's just that, like I said, it's a forever fountain of youth because there's always a new girl the next day, right? And
shit, at Magic City, I think they recruited him from Greyhound.
Yeah, man. I'm just saying.
For those who don't know, right across the street from Magic City is the Greyhound station. Is the joke. Yeah.
And that was a big part of it too, because the key to being a great strip club DJ is that you got to be everything to those girls. You got to be their pimp, you got to be their daddy, you got to be their brother, their cousin, their mama, their uncle. You got to be everything to them because that's how you get your money. And you got to make them love you. And they all love you. And they no matter what, they pay me. They give me their money. You know what I mean? Because I bust my ass for them. I wouldn't take on purpose, I wouldn't take money from cats who wanted me to play their record because it alienated the girls. And, you know, I tell dudes, I'm like, dude, excuse me. You know how it is now. Guys goes to the DJ booth. Hey man, I got $100 if you play my record. Or I got $50, whatever the price is. And I'll be like, I don't do it like that, bro. You know, I was like, you know, let me see your record. And they'd be like, I'll play it for you. But all I ask is that you throw a little something on stage for the girl, right? And they'd be like, word, bet. And see how I flipped it. It ain't about me. Yeah. It's about the girl.
Right.
That girl gonna give me that $20 every night over the long haul. But me getting that little $100 from him, sure off, is gonna piss her off and might mess my money up long term, right? Because she's standing on stage like, what the hell is you playing for me? And if I'm being selfish, I got $100 in my pocket. I'm like, kiss my ass. I got $100. And she's like, all right, nigga. You get $5 from here on out. And just $5 times all those days of the year, as opposed to $20 times all those days of the year. Far outweigh that $100.
Right.
So that is why, I've always had it good. Now, we were in a 20-year lawsuit with Whomp There It Is because there were two record companies battling over the rights, right? And that was brutal. But, I use all the pain, all the sadness, all the joy. I use that shit. And I turn it into a positive ball, right? So instead of being pissed off that we in lawsuits and stuff, I became a paralegal. It's like, all right, let me learn the lingo. Let me learn what I should have known at the beginning, right? And I learned it. So I'm doing all the discovery so I can save money for my legal fees. And I've got everything ready. And as soon as I find a good lawyer, I send them everything nice and neat. All the lawyer has to do is go through it and come up with a plan. And 2017, we resolved everything. It's like when you go to war, you might win the war, but you done lost a leg, or you done lost an eye. You know what I mean? You walk with a limp, but that changed everything. That stopped our career. We couldn't make music because it's like, I'm not gonna make music, put something out and they get hot, and then one or two record companies like, well, we on the right, so and then they're gonna take us to court. Then I got to go to court for that and this. Nah, so I was like, all right, I'll wait.
So a lot of people don't know exactly what happened, and admittedly, I had to read up on it earlier in the week. Can you talk about specifically what happened? Because I think you guys got signed with Al Bell.
Yeah, Belmont Records. This is what happened. So for us, we were kind of screwed from the beginning because we had a lawyer who was a paralegal. So he lied to us and told he wasn't even a lawyer. So that messed us up from the beginning. But to his credit, he did say, I wouldn't sign this, but we was like, man, we got to sign this because it was too many records coming out. Everybody was, everybody had a Whomp There It Is record. So I was like, we got to go.
Yep.
Right. And we went and it was like, we'll deal with it later. But we still could have dealt with it better than we did because, Freak Nick 93 was my last night at Magic City. And in a month and a half, we were platinum, right? Wow. And we signed a contract, we signed a production deal. But what they don't tell you is, everybody was thinking about masters. Nobody thinking about publishing. Nobody knew, right? And that's when everybody was using sample. Like everybody from the beginning to about 1992. Biz Markie was the first big name that got hit for the sample thing, right? And for Just a Friend. And they crushed it, right? And we got hit for the Kano sample because we cleared half of it. But I didn't know there was two sides to publishing, right? Music publishing. So everybody goes through this, whether it's in the form of, it's a form of recoupment, right? It's like in the contract, we just gonna set it out for you. You got limousines, you're flying everywhere, you got hotels, anything you want, we got you. But what artists don't realize, you're paying for all of that. Right. And it's called recoupment. They got to recoup what they spent to promote your record, right? Right.
Before you make any money.
Before you make any money. And you're never going to make any money because they're always going to have something to recoup. Because you don't spend all your money and you don't have the resources to get a forensic financial analysis of their books. And you can't sue them because they got way more money than you and they're just going to bleed you. And that's what happened. So that's just the record company side recoupment. But there's another form in music publishing. And see, music publishing is where, fast forward to today. Any artist that comes my way talking about, hey man, can you help me? I'm like, yeah, I'll help you. But I'm only going to give you a little bit at a time. And you do this one thing, I'll take you to the next thing. They're like, well, man, what do I got to do? I got to go, out in the streets and do this. I was like, nah. I sent them a file, It's got books, a couple books in there, and it's got some videos in there. So if they can't read or don't want to read, there's a video. I'll be like, soak all this up, and when you finish, come back and talk to me about it and explain it to me. And nobody ever does.
Wow.
And there's only been one cat that did it. And he was a Army veteran. Just came back from Afghanistan, suffering from post-traumatic stress disorder. And he used to write lyrics just to get his, just to get all that shit on paper. And he did it. And we had a discussion about it. And I was like, I'm proud of you, bro. Here's the next thing. Get with this organization, start, campaigning to get networking and getting you some shows. Something totally different. Not going to the clubs and getting a show, not going, all that costs money. People are supposed to pay you to perform, right? And he started performing. He started doing shows here, doing shows on the Army bases, all that stuff, because people could relate to what he was talking about. So now he knows about the business side of it. And now he's getting creative about how to make the money on the money side of it. Now he just has to get the production part of it. His songs got to meet what he knows as knowledge in the streets and in the game. So that's a success story to me. You know what I mean? Because if something ever happens, if he ever blows up, he's not going to get taken advantage of because he knows about music publishing. But I can tell you, I've given that file to hundreds of people and nobody calls me back because it's too hard.
It is. And I do a very similar thing, and I've been doing it for years. I call it giving people a hurdle, right? If a guy comes to me and he says, I need your help promoting this event and marketing this event, what they really are saying is, I want you to promote and market this event.
Right.
So what I do is I just put a hurdle in front of them. And I just say, okay, and it's usually a simple one. Put it in writing and send it back to them.
Elementary school.
95% of the people never even put it in writing. It's mind blowing.
Because they think everybody wants to be a star. Nobody wants to be a successful artist or have a career.
Working artist.
Everybody, for me, I've always been humble. Because I worked in clubs, so I watched everybody be assholes and watch how stars. One thing I know about stars, people who act like stars, you're gonna be hot for a second, but when you fall, you're gonna fall hard, and it's gonna show, right? And if you act like that, everybody's gonna know what happened. It's funny. It's almost like what do they call it when dudes put black in their beard? What's that called? Beijing.
Beijing,
right, there was this one dude was telling me, this radio dude was like, how come they didn't put no Beijing in their beard, man? Why they go gray? And I was like, dude, you telling everybody what you're doing. You tell everybody that you don't have no confidence because you think you're too old to be doing what you're doing. And I'm like, you don't know what he's talking about. I would never do that, right? I don't give a damn. Because I know, man, let me tell you something. To the end of time, you can never go wrong with the Frankie Beverly beard cut. Ever. Ever. You can never go wrong with it. Now, this is my pandemic right here. Yeah. Right? And this is my mountain man too, because this is for acting, right? So if I want to be that mountain man or captain of a ship or the police sergeant, whatever, this gonna work, right? And if I want to be that farmer, it just depends, because I can cut it short, I can cut it off. This is about acting, right? But I couldn't cut it all the way off because I had something else to do. So I just Frankie Beverly cut it short, and I asked like 15 women, what should we do? What should I do? She's like, you better not cut it, and you better not put none of that Beijing bullshit in. I was like, I ain't about to do that. Don't even worry about it. But I knew what I was going to do. But it's like that, right? Everybody think there's an easy way. There's a way to camouflage your shit. There's just nobody wants to put in the work. There's only one way through it. Yeah. There's only one way to get to it, and that's to go through it, right? And same with anything I've ever done, I've had to do it. Like I've got like 5 tutors right now. I use a site called Wizen. And people don't even realize that a lot of teachers was like, I ain't about to be in here with them nasty ass kids. And a lot of teachers got fired. But what they did, they said, you know what? I'm gonna go to some of these tutoring sites and tutor people online. And because everything is on Zoom. If your Zoom game ain't popping, you ain't making no money. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Now,
Yeah.
some days I do 4 or 5 Zoom calls because I'm learning different things, right? Learning how to automate software, learning how to do this, learning how to do that because there's somebody out there that can teach me that I can pay, right? That hasn't always been there. Like you had to get a course or go to school or sit down somewhere, not in your own crib and somebody spit the game to you. And then you can ask the questions like, all I'm trying to do is this, this, and that. And they tell you how to do it. And then you just cut your workflow by days and you become more perfect. You become more productive, right? So, and it says that in all the books, but it's like, how do you do that? How do you organize your time like that, right? And you just find somebody that can do it for you. So now I'm in music production, music theory. I've always been a good video editor, but sometimes I do so many things. If I don't video edit for a month, it's like I've never done it at all. So I got to kind of catch back up, right?
Yeah.
And just to somebody I can call, there's one little thing I could do. SEO, same thing, building websites, all that. But I have to do all these things because if I'm going to put together a team and teach people how to do this, I got to know my shit. So now I'm building a team of individuals that can support me in my dreams and my visions of the future that I have for myself. And I want it all. I ain't fucking around.
Yeah.
And I'm going to get it all.
Yeah.
Because everybody's like, I'm looking around at cats, and it's like everybody's giving up. They think because they're older, they're just giving up. And I'm like, I be telling cats, I be like, y'all don't even understand. Y'all got one thing, the one most important thing that nobody else has, that none of these young cats have. Experience, right?
Yeah.
Y'all been through some shit.
Yeah, right.
Y'all got stories. Young cats ain't got stories. They create their stories and figuring things out. You already done that.
Yeah.
What happens is everybody sits around old and bitter and be hating on young cats for being young. Can't do that.
One of the cats that I absolutely adore and I've got a chance to meet and sit and talk with him twice is Quincy Jones. Because here's a cat that's been in the game since he was a kid and has reinvented himself you know what I'm saying, from playing jazz to Michael, to doing the soundtrack to Jackson Wiz to Michael Jackson.
What that is?
Yeah. To television and to magazines, like he's progressed and done so many things over the course of it, and where he ain't gotta work, but he still loves what he does. Right. Yeah.
He loves music.
I think he loves. Yeah, I think it's the difference between wanting to have it and wanting to get it. If you want to get it, you're always going to want to get it, no matter what it is. Like if your goal was to go quadruple platinum and that's all you wanted, you would have stopped. But it was like you wanted more stuff. So it seems like you have just a hungry spirit.
What? I want it all, dog. Hey, for real, man. Sometimes you be like I was talking to a friend of mine last night. She started real estate school last week. And it's an accelerated class. She'll be done by the 19th. I'm like, you started on the 1st and you get done by the 19th? Give me that number. Because I will stop everything I'm doing right now and go get my real estate license just to have it. Because I know how to learn. Like I use all kind of AI apparatuses to help me learn. So if I record something, I got a piece of software that I can throw that recording in and it transcribes, spits out a script. Now I got the words. If the person who's teaching me, I can't stand their voice, then I'll take those words, throw it in the AI reader. I got 15 different human voices that can read to me. And now I'm learning that way. Wow. Right? There's so many ways that you can learn. And there's like some people learn by hearing, some people, I learn by them all, but it's like which one Although, if I like to listen to stuff, well, how are you going to set up the stuff for you to listen to? Well, if you're going to, if you're good at reading, I can't stand reading, but there's some things you got to read, right? So the things I got to read, I'll read. But everything else go into the AI and it's reading it to me while I'm doing this over here, right? It's the ability to learn how to learn. And, before I started acting, I thought I had halfway had Alzheimer's because I couldn't remember shit. It's like I'm getting old, it's over, man. And then it was like, once I started acting, I was really tripping. But man, I'm learning 3 scripts that I got to have done by Monday, which equal up to 15 pages. And I pretty much got them all under my belt in like 2-3 hours because I know what to do now, right? When you understand what you're saying, the words come to you. So if the whole point is to understand what you're saying, like if you're just trying to learn it and it's not making sense, it's not gonna work. But if it's coming to you and you're listening to it over and over and you pick up little pieces as you go, well, now I know what this drum machine is about. You know what I'm saying? Now I'm not just gonna be pushing buttons trying to figure out what I'm doing. It's like, wait a minute, they built this thing so you do it like this, this, and this. And then now I got a little bit under my belt that I can go and start messing with it. Now I know it. Took me, it took me about 4 years to learn how to use a drum machine. And I still didn't know how to use it. But I got a tutor who taught me how to use that thing in 2 weeks.
Dude,
look, I'm laughing because I just bought one last year. And I thought I was just going to plug it up and get it here.
You thought it was 1995 where you could just start busting on a drum machine. It ain't no 808. These things is rockets, dog.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah, it took me some years to figure it out.
I love how to get it going.
Man, get you a tutor. The site is called Wyzant, WYZANT.com. If you need to know something, there's somebody there, $50 an hour. You'll know it in 2 weeks. Some things I take one session. Sometimes I just got one question. And I'll be like, you're going to keep that little extra money. They'll be like, no, we just did 20 minutes. No, because I appreciate you. Right. And that ain't the only one. There's tons of them. And, I've got, like I said, and then I've even got greedy with it. I got 3 people. Now I'm working with a new dog. Why is that? Oh, yeah.
I got the version on my phone. I got the version on my phone. I'll start an idea on my phone and then finish it on my computer. Import it and then finish it on my computer.
And that's how I write. You know how I write?
Yeah.
Well, I think I wanted to do this, blah, 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 blah. Bam. Shoot it over. Now I got it. Mm-hmm. Right? If I have to sit there and try to figure, it's not going to happen. Right? If I have to type it, it's not, I could do it. Man, just sitting here spitting the game, talking is the easiest. Like, if I'm recording this now, I throw this in the AI, get the transcript. Now it's a blog post. SEO it up. Now I can make this go viral because I know SEO and I can get on the first page of Google for the keyword that I want.
We're gonna
Please feel free to do that.
Word.
But you see now, if you could do that with music, you can do that with your videos. How many songs do you see these young cats putting on YouTube and they don't even optimize it? They don't have no information on it. They don't have no their channeling set up right. Nobody is seeing them. If I put something on the internet, everybody gonna see it. And it really got to me because 4 years ago, when I started building the website, you type in tag team, it's all wrestling. I was like, man, I got, and I've been, because, being in the club, you make yourself invaluable. So to make yourself invaluable in the club, first of all, I'm a great DJ, but I'm doing your marketing, right? I'm doing your flyers. Mm-hmm. My voiceover, I'm doing your radio commercials. Because I know sound, I take care of your sound system. Because I know about the lights, I'm changing the light bulbs. I'm up there getting dusty, changing light bulbs and shit. But the owner sees you, and the owner's like, I'm gonna pay you for this, 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 and this. I'm gonna give you health insurance. I'm gonna give you a life insurance policy, and then I'm gonna throw you some cash under the table. See, that is how you hustle. You got six streams of income in one job. It's like you got 6 jobs in one job.
That was one of the greatest lessons ever taught to me. Chaka from
Zulu.
over Hot 90s.
Yeah.
The Chaka, I think everybody knows this story at this point, so I'm not out of the bag, cat's out of the bag. Chaka got let go from over at Hot. And I was called, I didn't know he had got let go. They called me to come in and fill in on his shift. So I'm going in the studio. I think he's just out. He walks in the studio and I'm like, what's going on? He was like, dude, they let me go. And he said, and I recommended you to get my job, my music director job. Then he said to me these words, and I never forgot these words, and I tell every intern, every young person I talk to. He said, the more you know, the more you're worth. And that stuck with me. That stuck with me. And it's really what you're saying. It's like you go and you learn all of this stuff. You get all of this knowledge, and then you apply it in whatever situation you find yourself in.
Like a strokers. I was doing SEO back in the day, but I couldn't build websites, right? Like there was just too many weaknesses for me to be successful at it. But now it takes that much time sometimes. That's why everybody can't do it, because it's hard, right? Yeah. I'm doing, I concentrate on pictures. I concentrate on photo shoots of the girls. So now we do a photo shoot a month from Strokers. I was one of the first cats to do calendars at Magic City back in the 90s, right? I did the calendars and Strokers, and everybody started following me. So I'm doing photo shoots. Now I'm in Sticky Pages. I'm in every hood magazine across the country.
Funniest name for a magazine in the world, by the way.
Sticky Pages, yeah, that's a wonderful name.
What?
Sticky Pages.
Hey, I was doing at one point I was doing pictures for Feds, Sticky Pages, and Ozone.
Wow. Just
because I took pictures of the girls, and that was the narrative. And it just boom, strokers. Now everybody in jail to get out come straight to Strokers.
I ain't been to Strokers in.
Yeah. Because it's one of the type clubs. It's one of the type clubs. It's not a rah-rah. It's not a rah-rah glamorous club. You know what I mean? Because that's what strip club stuff it turned into. Like there's never been, I could honestly say to me, P-Valley that came on this last season is the closest thing to what really goes on in a strip club that I've ever seen, because everybody else glamorizes it. And that's not what a strip club is. You know what I mean? You gotta, if you're gonna do a strip club, you gotta talk about the time where the girl's sitting around waiting from 8 o'clock, 12 o'clock for some money to come in, right? Mm-hmm. You gotta talk about all that. Then you talk about a real strip club, right? But when you're talking about just throwing money and bottles everywhere and all this shit, like that's from 2:30 to 3 o'clock. When cats come in and they just blow their whole thing and they get the hell on. So, that's why, I just, like you said, it's called being in the corridor. That's what I did at Strokers. I was reading this because I've always been into the self-help thing, right? And it's served me well. And there was this book, I can't remember the name of it, but this guy, he wanted to do a pie shop. And he went and worked for a month at a pie shop. Then he quit. Then he opened up a pie shop and put the other ones out of business, right?
Yeah.
And I did that. I was like, okay, what can you do while you're here? Do their marketing and learn about marketing. So it took me 6 months to put a business plan together. I paid somebody to help me put together a proper business plan and marketing plan for Strokers. I went and bought a screen. I still got the projector and went to the office, drank me a Tangerine orange juice, and spit the game on a screen with a PowerPoint presentation to my boss. And she cut me a check for $25,000 after it was done.
Yeah.
There you go.
Do your thing, boy. And I was doing it ever since. So that's why I stayed in the club so long, because I was learning. It was the perfect opportunity to learn how to do everything I know how to do now. And because I was able to implement everything that I'm doing now, I'm self-sufficient. You know what I mean? I'm about to do a press release, letting the world know that I did this Geico commercial, but at the same time, letting the world know, hey, I'm an actor. Hey, I do voiceover. I've done this, I've done that. You create your own narrative. Don't nobody know how to put on no damn press release. I put out a press release for the smallest thing. I put out a press release. My daddy died a year ago, right? Beautiful. It wasn't sad or nothing. He died on his birthday, 82nd birthday. Out in his sleep in his own house. Can't ask for more. What more could I ask for, right? I did a press release about it. And it's everywhere. Like, press releases work. So I'm about to bust a press release about this Geico commercial and everything I do because I know how to do it. Tie it back to the website. And now I'm not trying to be on, the biggest, see, I have a vision, right? There's two sides of it. I'm doing music production because I want to make music again. But I don't want to make music again and put out no record and say, hey, look, I put out a record, y'all. Right? Like, DC, sit your old ass down. I'm putting out records. I'm putting out jingles to ad agencies. I'm making songs for movies that I'm auditioning for a year in advance so I know what the movie's about so I can write a song about it. I'm doing the intros to TV shows that I'm auditioning for a year earlier because I know what the show is about. Now I can write the theme song for it. All I need is one. All you need is one.
Which is true.
Now
I wrote a jingle back in 2002.
Yep.
I still get publishing checks. They went from big and they dwindled down. They're smaller now than they were back then, but when I wrote it, I co-wrote it with some people, and I didn't think nothing of it until the first check came. My first ASCAP check came. I sent it back because I thought it was a mistake. I thought it was a mistake, and I wasn't trying to take no money that wasn't my money. And then they sent it again, and I called them and was like, "Look, I think y'all sending me this money by mistake." And the lady looked up the stuff. She was like, "Nah, that's your money." straight to the bank.
Hey, man, that's. See, but do you understand? Like, cats would rather learn about shit that don't mean nothing in them streets, right? Now, if you know it means something, but why would you? I just see you just have to be creative, right? I know that's the only thing I want to do. That's the only way I'm gonna be happy making music, right? Is to make it for the things that I'm gonna act in. Things that commercials I'm gonna be in, and the both video games that I'm doing the voiceover for. There's so much. All I gotta do is make the song. All I have to do is learn how to use the technology. The technology has to meet the creativity. Once that happens, it's over. And that's where the tutoring comes in, and me getting up to speed. I ain't touched a drum machine in 25 years. MPC all the way. We had 808s. We had every drum machine in the beginning. Hey man, I've always been good at making music, but now it's technology. So, and I like stuff. I like a certain type of music. I know that I can still, not necessarily bass, but I can still make up-tempo music. Every big hit record is up-tempo, period. All the way back to Planet Rock. Yeah. All the way back to Planet Rock, the biggest songs on every chart are up-tempo. It'll change here and there. You'll catch the Drakes and you'll catch, a lot of the rap stuff that's coming out now. It'll creep up on the Hot 100, but you get you a David Guetta and get you all them fast cuts, all them up-tempo cuts, they last forever, right?
Yeah.
And them cats, them DJs make $1 million a show. Like, it's a difference.
That'd be nice.
Difference. You see what I'm saying? The Vegas DJs they start at $250. A show.
I think Lil Jon was
Lil Jon
Vegas.
got his son DJing. Lil Jon been DJing forever, but he's in Vegas. And he been getting bread. He been getting bread ever since he throw out a record every now and then just so he got something to play when he DJ. And it hit because he get to break his records because everybody comes from all around to Vegas, and then they go back to where they at. They be like, "We saw Lil Jon. Have you heard Lil Jon's new record?" Now his record is spread, right? There are so many different ways to make money in this industry, but everybody thinks there's only one way, and it's sad.
Why do you think that is? That's what I was gonna say. Why do you think like young people only focus on being a rapper or being a ball player when it's so much money to be made?
Because first of all, everybody sees what they got and want what they got, and even if you low level, you fronting like you got it, right? Am I lying? People who low level, they fronting like they got it and don't even have it, but they fronting like they got it, and everybody wants it. So everybody thinks, man, I want to be like that, and the only way I can be like that is if I do it like this. And if you think about it, man, I'm gonna do it like this. I'm gonna have to learn some shit, and I'm gonna have to be, I'm gonna have to lay low for a while. I ain't gonna be able to be in these clubs like that no more because I got some stuff I gotta learn. But, and I don't knock nobody. I don't knock what these cats is doing because, like I said, you cannot be mad at people for being young. They're young. This is what they don't have the experience to understand the difference, but then they know some shit I don't know, right? True. So I learn what they know, and then I just put it in my toolbox. I ain't gotta do what they do, but I know what they do. So if I ever come up that situation to get an opportunity to do the stuff that they do, I got that in my toolbox to wield it and fix that solution, to have a solution to that problem. So for me, life now is about curing my weaknesses, right? Curing my weaknesses, implementing my visions and my plans, my goals, and it can be done. Like, I've never had a doubt in my mind that it could be done, but now I really don't. It's coming to me. Man, There's only been 3 other rappers that have done a Geico commercial. Ever. In the history of it. Ice-T, Lemonade. Remember that? That's my favorite.
Yeah. It was hilarious.
Yeah. Salt and Pepper.
Yep.
Jake Khaled. Tag team.
Okay.
Wow.
Now,
That's good company to be in.
Boys and Men did one for R&B. Rat did one. People like Rats. But the biggest one is The Who. The Who did one a while back. And then I think the biggest one is Little Richard. And that was at the beginning.
Oh, yeah, right.
When they started doing what Geico was. See, Geico used to be just insurance for the military. Then they started selling insurance to the civilian population. And Little Richard was one of their first spots. And that blew it. I did the research on that shit.
Yeah, man.
I'm like,
I was about to say, you researched it before you got into it.
We had 2 months before we did it. From the time they called me, it was like 2 months before we did it. So all I did was research. Like, I went and got the numbers, right? Because, see, most people just be happy to have a Geico commercial. I need to see the numbers. I need to see how many conversions, how many people have that commercial converted from their insurance company to Geico. Because when I go into negotiations, or my agent goes to negotiations, I'm like, here's the data. Bust it on them.
You know what value you provided to them. You know what value you provided to them. Now you're negotiating from a position of strength.
My value add proposition, right?
Yes, sir.
I have value. Okay. Well, you only got one song. Yeah, that one song made this data right here. Look at it. You know what you're looking at because you look at data that's why you spend money on commercials. But you got to know what your commercial is doing, how it's converted, how many people are turning the channel, how many people are staying on that commercial. You know what I'm saying? When are they playing that commercial? Man. How
many people are clicking through to the website? How many signing up from that click through? All of that.
I'll know that information this week. Ain't nobody thinking about that shit but me.
Wow.
That's smart, though.
Nobody's thinking about that. Everybody's like, man, you got a Geico commercial. That's the shit. Man, I know you getting some ass on that shit. Man, get down. I have 4 lifetimes worth of pussy. I don't need no more. I'm good. Okay? I'm ruined because I damn worked at a strip club. I'm immune to women like that, right? Because I'd rather have them on my team teaching them some stuff that they can work for me than me just doing what I used to do with them. I can't do that. Like I don't have my fun, right? And if I get to where I'm trying to get to, that's academic. That's not what's most important to me, right? What's most important to me is achieving these lifelong goals that I've set for myself. And, you know, honoring my ancestors who built me, who put their effort and their blood, their sweat and tears to raise a good man. That's my goal. My goals are simple, right? And I got up at 3 o'clock this morning. Been up grinding since 3 o'clock. And we'll go to bed till about 11 and be right back up 4 or 5 tomorrow. Grinding again, doing something, just knocking off this checklist. You know what I mean? So for me, you know, I love doing these because when we started this, y'all had no idea we'd be talking about this. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We ain't even talking about Whomp There It Is. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
We talking real world shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, everybody know the story. You know, Whomp There It Is for me has been fabulous. You know, I've got a nostalgic record, and I don't even tell about nobody I do it. But that record done got me in the boardrooms. I know when to use it. I know how to slide it in. You know what I'm saying? That's what it's for.
Yeah.
It's not for, oh, baby, you know who I am? That ain't what it's for. And how many cats you see do that? They might have just a little mixtape out. Oh, girl, you don't know who I am?
And look, and my experience has been is when they got to ask the question, you ain't getting no ass. you gotta ask them, do you know who I am? She ain't fucking you.
And here's the beauty. Here's the thing that just makes me happy is that, you know, I told my brother, I said, this Geico commercial will be the biggest thing that's ever happened to me. It's like, nah, man, it's not bigger than Whomp There It Is. I was like, dude, Whomp There It Is Whomp There It Is. We was young. It popped off. And, you know, we had to go on the road. We didn't even have no cell phone. That's when cell phones first got started. Like, it was a different day. I said, it's been 27 years, it's the 28th year. I said, this will be the first time that everybody simultaneously gets to put the face with the song they love. From generation to generation to generation to generation, all the way back to 1993. It don't get no bigger. It ain't like they play it every now and then. Every time that commercial plays, both my phones is buzzing. My phone's been buzzing since that thing dropped. Bzz,
Wow.
bzz, bzz. Social media, bzz, notifications, bzz, bzz. People I ain't seen, ain't talked to in years. And to me, that's special, right? Because I'm getting real-time data. They tell me about how much their kids love it. I had a friend last night. She called me. She's like, would you please sing this song to my daughter? Because she just loves that shit. She's 5 years old. I was like, I ain't about to sing your damn daughter. But I was like, stop. Don't do that. Don't do that. I was like, put her on the phone. I was like, girl, why you singing my song? She's like, what? I was like, why you singing my song? I'm the one supposed to sing my song. She's like, because I love it. I was like, all right, let's go. And we just had a good time, dude. And I made somebody's day, man. Yeah. I made the mama's day, little kid's day. And she knew that thing. 5 years old, knew that song word for word.
And she'll remember that moment 10 years later.
Yeah.
She'll tell that story.
That's what I'm building. That's what I build with this. All these kids, think about, like, they did a thing called Kids Bop. Kids Bop, they redid Whomp There It Is to play elementary kids in school. Pretty much for the last 15 years, every school has Kids Bop. And they play it for the kids in class. There's a million videos of it. So every kid knows about Whomp There It Is. Now all them kids for 15 years get to put this face with it. That means everything, right? Not that it's, you know, everybody's gonna know because we're wearing masks. So it's actually best of both worlds. I still get to be me because I got a mask on. Nobody knows still, right?
Right.
That's cool for me because I get to live my life, right? But that's important, right? Because they see me doing that, then they're going to see me on Tyler Perry. Then they're going to see me doing this. They're going to see me in Star Wars. They're going to see me in The Mandalorian. They're going to see me on a TV show. They're going to see me here in another commercial. They're going to see me in an Oreo commercial. They're going to see me. I promise you. You know, and
so now you mentioned The Mandalorian. Is that something that's locked in, or are you working on it?
I'm working on it.
All right, word up.
Okay. Hey, my agents asked me, they said, you know, what do you want to do? I was like, man, just keep doing what you're doing. She's like, you ain't got no bucket list? I was like, wait a minute. Since you put it that way, I said, anything Star Wars. They doing 10 different series. Get me somewhere on Star Wars. I want to be, I have an audition one time for Marvel movies and they're all shot here. I want to be in a movie where The Rock is shooting. He's shooting 2 movies down here now. I said, I ain't got to have a star role. I'll be the cook that got 5 lines. But people see, right? And then you get a bigger role because they know they can trust you. That's how acting goes. If they know they can trust you, they know you professionally, you know your lines, you're going to be on time, and you give a good performance. Next thing you know, you co-star. You go from number 15 on the call sheet to number 5. You know what I'm saying? Because the call sheet is the importance of an actor on the list and everybody's numbers from, all the people who work on the set, producers and everything. So that's the call sheet. Number 1 is The Rock. Number 22, DC. I don't give a damn. You know what I'm saying? You got a problem before you walk, right? And I know that if I do a press release and the guy from Tag Team is in a movie with The Rock, it's about the headline, right? It's about the clickbait. It's accurate and it's true, right? And that's all I care about. And that's going to happen. I've got 6-7 deals working right now. Now, most of them probably won't work because that's how it works. You negotiate, don't work out, plans change, COVID's in the way, all kind of stuff, right? But, all you need is one. So you just keep working and put yourself in a position to be able to get the opportunity. And because you filled the holes and you worked hard and you put your weaknesses to bed, you're ready. And that's what life is all about, being ready. See, I'm playing chess. Life has hit me with moves that kind of saw that move coming and I'm ready for it, right? Mm-hmm. But when you're not ready for it, life be beating your ass. You know what I'm saying? It's like, damn, he saw me do that move. I can't do nothing. Then you get frustrated and then you just quit.
What is the saying? Luck is the combination of preparation and timing.
You gotta create your own luck. You got to. You gotta
make yourself prepared like you're doing, and then go and find the opportunity.
That's why I'm sitting here talking to y'all, because we hashing shit out. I see you guys' mind. I see you guys' wheels turning. Y'all like,
oh yeah,
wheels is turning.
I'm be calling you after this. You know what I'm saying? you know that's coming next. But yeah, man. Yeah. So before we jump, man, because you told I was privy to have a convo before we did this. And you was telling me some stories from the strip club days. You told me about something that happened with Ice-T. Can you share that?
It was at Magic City. And because we got mutual friends, right? And they brought him in. And, he was just watching, right? And he came to me, he was like, man, DC, man, you a legal pimp, man. I was like, what are you talking about? It's like, man, you a pimp. And it's legal, man. Every girl that'll come to this DJ booth will come get you some money, man. You's a pimp, dog. I was like, dude, come on, man. He's like, nah, man, you's a legal pimp. It kind of blew him away because it was like, that's what happens. You know what I'm saying? It's like, but I work for that money. You know what I mean? But the way it looks, a butt naked woman run up to the DJ booth. Here you go, D. Here you go, baby. Here you go, daddy.
Yeah, man.
Just one after another, one after another. Here you go. I love you.
Yeah. For Ice-T to see that and go, wait a minute. Wait a damn minute. What's going on here? Yeah, that's funny.
He was a real pimp.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
That's what's so funny about it.
Yeah.
Man.
You recognize
a lot of friends.
You recognize it like
because we always was cool, and that was like it's like how I use Whomp There It Is now. That's how I used to use Magic City because it was the eighth wonder of the world back then, right? This is since the 90s. There was only 2, 3. Think about it. It was Magic City, Paradise City, which used to be the old Gentleman's Club. That's what it was before the Gentleman's Club. Paradise City.
Okay.
Purple Onion on Stewart, and then you had Blue Flame. That was it. It was 4.
Purple Onion became Nicky's, right?
Nah, Purple Onion was still Purple Onion. Nicky's was another one across the street. Oh. So it was actually Purple Onion and Nicky. Okay. I do believe.
I remember.
Okay.
And then
what was the spot? What was the spot out next to the gate in Decatur? I can't remember the name of it.
Man, you said the gate, boy.
Yeah. I got a story about the gate.
I'm trying to remember where the gate. Where was the gate?
Gate was on. Is that Gresham? Off of Memorial before you get to 285.
Oh
shoot.
Okay, so the gate used to be Sensations, right?
That predates me. That predates me.
Sensations. Then it became the gate because Doug owned it. That's right. It became the gate, and then after that, it became Obsessions, I think, something like that.
But there was a club next to the gate.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. I've been to that club a million times. I cannot remember the name of it.
I can't remember the name of it.
I think Griff used to work out there. I think Griff used to work at that club. Security.
Oh,
doing security.
Okay.
Sandcastle?
But
No, not Sandcastle.
I don't think it's Sandcastle.
Strip club.
The game. So what? It was a strip club, right next to.
Is pinups.
Was it pinups? No,
it wasn't pinups.
I remember the park. I remember the parking lot.
There have not been. See, every strip club has been regurgitated, right? So, like, what happened was that the city changed, and the white owners were like, "There's too many white clubs. I can't make no money. Let's turn it into a black club." And pretty much every big club in this city used to be a white club. Strokers was white. Pinups was white. Blaze was white. Diamond was white.
Diamonds.
Pink Punk, all the Buford Highway clubs was white. Yeah. Every club was white. But now every club is black. The only white club left is, I don't even know Pink Pony. Yeah, Pink Pony, Cheetah. And Blazing, what is it called? Even the one that was on the south side by the airport used to be white. Blazing Saddles or something. It's black now.
Wow. Yeah. So my gate story.
I remember Montrez. It wasn't Montrez. I remember Montrez. High school. The first strip club first strip club I ever went to was in high school.
Yeah.
We went to Montrez.
I just love Montrez. That hole in the wall. Raggy ass club. I love Montrez.
It was a woo. That was a place there, boy.
There was real women in Montrez, right?
Yes, sir.
It was real good women. I love Montrez. This girl there used to be called Bud. Her name was Budweiser. Biggest booty I ever seen in my life.
It was Bud. It was Budweiser.
Yeah.
Damn. Okay.
I remember all that.
Oh shit! It said Montrez. I ain't heard Montrez since I was 18, 17 years old.
I could go history lesson like when you say we was talking about shopping and Chris and all that. Like I knew them it was kids. Think about it. I came out first. You know what I'm saying? Like I knew Jermaine when he was a kid. You know?
You were part of the beginning of the Atlanta Sound.
Babyface LA guy here, bottom ground. I remember we did I did talent shows at Frozen Paradise. Not Frozen Paradise.
Yep.
Fat Tuesday on the South Side. Not what
Fat Tuesday.
What was it called? Frozen Paradise, right?
It was Frozen Paradise, right there on Old National, and then they put the Crow's Nest over there, right in that same place. Oh crap! Because it was a Cajun spot that I used to eat at all the time.
Way back. This is at the beginning.
It was I want to say it was Frozen Paradise.
Yeah,
I think it was Frozen Paradise, and then it became the Cajun spot.
They tried to reopen it on Memorial Drive.
That's Memorial. Yeah, that's the one.
Okay. I've got pictures where I did a talent contest with the boys. Not the boys, but ABC. Because I knew JoJo, because they was all street dudes, right? And I'm up against all these little 5-year-old kids. Me rapping. I came off the boat rapping. You know what I'm saying? We did talent contests. I did everything I could do in Atlanta. Yep. Yeah. I'm telling you, dude, I go back to the beginning. 1989. You know what I'm saying? And everybody used to come to me. Wow. I was at Magic City. All them record company reps used to come and bring them vinyl to me. There wasn't no breaking records back then. You know what I mean? It was about having the vinyl. Whoever could get you the vinyl first, you had to go get your vinyl.
Here's what's crazy about that. Here's what's crazy about that.
Everything.
Because you mentioned earlier that you would look to the playlist of radio stations. Us at the radio station started looking to the strip clubs.
Yeah. This is later though. The radio station thing came later. Mm-hmm. In the beginning, it was about the relationships you had with all the reps. Right? You had Doug Craig, Bradley Davidson, Rodney Terry. You had like all these reps with every single record company. You had a regional office here, right? Yeah. Warner Brothers, all of them. I knew them all. Right. I would go to their offices, but then they started coming to me, right? So Alan Cole used to be at Columbia. Lisa McCall used to be at Mercury. I would always go get vinyl because they had to. The way they had to do it is they had to get it to the DJs. And then they had to follow up with the DJs and then get a report, right? And I remember Doug Craig bought me Candyman. And I was like, okay, because they always say they didn't know how to ask to get them played. They didn't know what they were looking for. They just wanted to, just get them played. And I was like, hey, man, I got your formula for Candyman. I was like, there's about 3 girls that like it. So that means the record's being played 3 times a night. Put that in your report, right? And then I started telling everybody how many times I played it a night because of the girls. And then I would bring the girls to the DJ booth when the reps would come in. I'd be like, hey, baby, you like that Candyman record? Like, I love that shit. That shit banging. See, for a man to see that woman say that, and then she get on stage and everybody's tipping her because she fine, they end up liking the music, whatever she's getting played for, because they looking at her ass. They all up in her guts. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So they love the song because that's the song that they gonna remember. Every time I come on the radio, and I love the song. I was looking at that girl butt naked.
The psychology is correct. I remember to this day the first time I heard "Baby Baby" by Kilo. I was at the Gentleman's Club. Played it. I remember it to this day vividly. Exactly what you was doing. Absolutely. First time I saw a woman with a butterfly on the ass, and when she shake it, it did this. Yeah, man.
This girl was stroking. She had a butterfly in her ass, right? But the bottom wings was big and the top one was little. I used to call her Upside Down Butterfly. And that was her name. I never called her by her name. I was like, Upside Down Butterfly, you're next. I used to be killing. I was an asshole. But it made the money, right? Yeah. Because they would be like, if they wasn't up to par, they'd be like, do you see what I look like? Like, you know what you look like. Go back there and fix that shit, right? Because I told them the truth, right? It was real. And they hated me for a minute, but then they always come and ask me, you see what you think about this hair? Like, you good. You did a good job, boo. Well, how's my makeup? Look like you got a damn mask on because you didn't blend. You got to blend, boo. Like, I'll spit game to them. Then I'll give them YouTube videos so I can teach them how. Like, I would teach them how to be what they need to be. And see, the photo shoots served as showing women what their full potential was. Because I had full makeup, full hair, and we would do it for a whole day. And they'd be in there getting their hair made, everything would be, and they would take pictures and they would look spectacular. And I created monsters because some girls just lost their head after that. And once they get stripperized, because you see them when they first come in, take about a month or two for them to get stripperized. Once they get stripperized, there ain't no going back. and then they become fly. They know what they want. They know how to look. They know how to dress. And it's almost like from a caterpillar to a butterfly. It's a trip. And I've watched that with thousands of women. Thousands. There's still women that's dancing. And I ain't been in Magic City, worked in Magic City since the 90s. And they still dancing in Magic City.
Wow.
Because they know how to take care of themselves. They work out. You know, if you're showing a face, you can't get away with it. But if you keep your body tight and you got a pretty face and it ain't cracking, you good. And there's always a place for you in this city. So, I mean, you know, dude, I have so many stories and so much experience in this. I mean, I did Atlanta Live, dog. I was the head DJ at Atlanta Live.
I remember Atlanta Live.
My last night at Otto's in Buckhead or Cobalt Lounge was when Ray Lewis and them shut it down. That was my last night DJing in the club in this city.
Man, I got to see Prince at Atlanta Live.
Man, we did things. Man, Biggie was at Atlanta Live.
Mm-hmm.
Biggie. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. I got Alex some of his first shows at Atlanta Live. Because Alex used to, I've known Alex since he first got here. And when he started promoting, he was like, DC, man, put in the word for me, man. Just please put in the word. I was like, I got you, dog. Because I know what you do. And then, boom, he did some stuff with Jermaine at Atlanta Live. Then he did Biggie with Atlanta Live. Then he did Biggie again. Then he did Lil' Kim. And then came out from woodwork. He didn't do Prince, but Prince just wanted to do it. And that was like wasn't that incredible? It was electric.
Absolutely.
Because, you know, that club was built to compete with Studio 57 back in the 70s, right? It used to be called Limelight. They had a shark tank in the floor, in the dance floor, with a shark in it. I DJ'd there when it was called Rupert's. It was supposed to be one night and a band played, and then I would DJ black music during the breaks. And then Wayne McCombs came and bought it, and he had some investments. And it was for the Olympics in 96, 95. They thought they was going to make millions. Okay. And didn't nobody come to the club. And they all bailed on him, and he left him holding the bag. And I never knew me, Richard, and Chocolate. Chocolate used to do the primetime dance, the male strippers. And was like, if you make this thing black, you'll make $1 million. And I'll never forget it. He was like, let's do it. And that's when Rick Parton just first came to Atlanta. It was on V103.
I remember.
He hadn't been in town a week. Party. And he got on the radio and was like, Atlanta Live, Friday. Atlanta Live this Saturday. That's all I said. You see, you just get on Atlanta Live, Saturday night, new club, Atlanta Live. And
you sound just like him.
the first night, 3,500 people. Dressed. Wow. Dressed. There was a dress code. See, back then, I could play slow jam. Everybody danced. It was an art. It was an art. Because I had not only did I have to sell alcohol, I had to keep the dance floor packed. I had to keep order. I had to communicate with security, right? And I had to sell mixtapes. And the way I DJ, I would go recurrent, house, booty shake, come back down, slow jam, R&B, then start popular hip hop. Then around 1:30, straight ghetto the rest of the way. By that time, people's glasses is broke, hair don't fell, heels is broke, niggas is throwing up everywhere. And then ended with slow jam. That's how we used to do club. But there's no need for me getting mad that it's not like that no more. You know what I'm saying? That's the way it was. Yeah. And I'm glad it was like that. But now, everybody, it's about the space in the club because everything's in a little bitty ass club, so they got to sell the space. So you're going to sit on this little couch that's just a chair. All three of you niggas going to stand on this little couch, little chair that looks like a couch. You know what I mean? You know, now it's, people is renting bottles. Like it's more everything.
What is renting a bottle? Wait, what is renting a bottle? I've never heard that before.
So sometimes, people they just want the show, right?
Mhm.
They want the show with the bottles and the sparklers and all that shit. So you can get the show, but you can't drink the alcohol. So they're charging for the show. They're charging for the show because maybe some cats can only afford just the show.
Oh my God.
Hey, man.
I remember when going to the club was about having a good time.
What?
Right? The most of the show you would do is the outfit you wore.
Right.
Other than that,
Most of the shows was putting the worm on the hook and fishing.
yes. It was going for a purpose.
That's all it was. And then you slow jamming with the girl at the end of the night. Now you friends, and now you cut, right? And you just build up a whole bunch of those over time because the club is always going to be the club. But there was more things to keep you occupied because you could be like, you want to dance. So if you like to dance, it's all good. Right. You want to dance, but when you want to fuck, you just want to dance, right? So there was just, we would go after Magic City. I walk up there with all the Magic City dancers. We get the whole side. And it's just me and a couple other dudes with all these girls in Magic City. And we just buy a whole bunch of champagne, cheap shit. I didn't like drinking Dom Perignon. I couldn't stand Dom Perignon. I like Taylor. That's what they had at 112, the old 112, the disco program by Atlanta Live.
Right.
That was my favorite 112.
Right. Across the street.
And then shit, I never went to the front 112 where Redden was. I always went in the back door, Pam. I used to bring the kitchen pods. So they always would let me in the back door. So I could park in the back, walk right in, and be right in the club.
My favorite one.
Tommy didn't get mad. They're like, I got a pie for you in the trunk. Because they love my sweet potato pie. My sweet potato pie got me in 112 for years.
That's hilarious.
Hey, man, it's hard. Dude, I used to sell 50 plates a night at Magic City and Stroking. I would cook.
Damn.
I mean, when I cooked, I'd have oxtails over rice, greens, macaroni and cheese, cornbread, $10. I cooked 50 plates a night. I walk in with $500. And you know how clubs when the air conditioning break and they get it fixed. I go right up there on Memorial Drive to the Dry Ice Company. Dry Ice Company is where all the ice cream shit is, where all the ice cream trucks in the day come. I go give me a big ass cooler, fill it with popsicles and stuff, fill it with dry ice, bring it to work. Air conditioning broke. I got bomb pops. Come get them. You got all the girls walking around strip clubs sucking on bomb pops.
Yo,
which is very much,
my hustle.
That was a dual purpose right there.
Yeah, absolutely.
My hustle is legendary. I used to go to New York, buy $1,000 worth of knockoff shit, bring it back down here, and it'd be all gone in 2 days.
Damn.
Because the girls, it's disposable cash. All I do is just dump it all on the floor. All them fake Chanel and Gucci bags and shit, they eat that shit up. They reinforce it, take it and sew it up, so if it broke, it wouldn't break the wrong way. And they rock it like it was real. Ask about me, please.
Yo,
ask about me.
Yo, what's the craziest shit you've seen happen? In any clubs. Before you go, my favorite scene. This actually happened. I did 112. We used to do a live broadcast at one time. I don't even remember. We used to Hot 975. We used to do it for 9. We used to do a broadcast. We did New Year's one year, and I was there, and I didn't drive because I figured when I finished DJing, I was going to be drinking. So my man, I said, I'll just ride with y'all. And these niggas left me. So I'm there on New Year's trying to get home, right? But I got to watch the club on New Year's afterwards as it dried up, because 112 stayed open till 6, 7 o'clock in the morning, so people were still there.
That's vampire hour shit,
right? And so you see the baddest chicks leave and dwindle down to the average chicks, drinking down to the worst chicks, and dudes got desperate. it became like, okay, who's available? Like
that's when the crackheads was around. Girls drunk, shitting on themselves. Like, I got you, boo. I'll clean you up real quick.
It was twos and threes. It was a club full of twos and threes.
But it was new. But it was the new year, and so dudes is like, yo, this whatever. This has to happen.
Hey, man.
So whoever's here.
I DJ'd that shift for a short time. It was I was in at 112, 2A to 6A.
Yeah.
And I'll never forget coming in at night when it's dark and walking out in the morning. The sun is up. The line at the Pancake House was wrapped around the building. And I'm like, it was a different world, man. It was crazy.
Yeah, because people get up at 4 o'clock just to go to Pancake House. That's that weekend ritual, right? So you got club mixing in with the old folks that get up early just to go, in their overalls and shit, going to get their breakfast. Man,
right.
Let me get off here because I'll be on here all day.
Right now. Yo, DC, we appreciate you, man. Thank you for dropping gems on us.
Because, like I said, my goal now is just to put everybody on game and just teach people what I didn't know. So maybe their life might turn out a little bit better than mine. And mine done turned out great. So if I could just help somebody, my motto is you give what you want first and you always blessed. You know what I'm saying? It's like a boat, you're on a speedboat. You just can't, you're not looking at everything to come to you, but you look behind you and all your blessings is in your wake. You know what I mean? It follows you. And that's what's happening, man. Y'all gonna see me. I told everybody when I left the class, like, y'all gonna see me. I promise you.
Right.
Y'all gonna look up, see me in Star Wars. I promise you.
Forward to it.
You'll look
I'm
up, see me
looking forward
with
to
a
that.
lightsaber in my hand. I promise you.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Looking forward to see that.
Said he's gonna have a motherfucking lightsaber in his hand, fucking somebody up, and then get killed because I'm probably gonna be on the dark side or some shit.
Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, DC the brains of me. How can they find you?
So what you gotta type in is DC Glenn, you'll find me. Type in tag team. See, I laid the breadcrumbs, right? That's the key, lay breadcrumbs. So I ain't gotta go, you can hit me at this and you can hit, just type in DC Glenn. You're gonna find me. You just type me in, you're good. And if you need help, anybody out there need help, I'm willing to help you. But I'm not gonna give you the whole game. I'm gonna give it to you forkful at a time. You like that first bite, you come back and get some more and more and more till you get the whole thing. But you ain't about to have me just talking and then you just go and not do nothing. That pissed me off more than anything. So, But I love to help people. So anybody need help, holla at.
Dude, your SEO game is popping. I just popped in DC Glenn real quick. Every result is linked to you.
See the knowledge graph. See, most people don't even know that's called a knowledge graph. See, that's the most important thing, period, is that knowledge graph. And you get to dictate what it looks like. So you got a little acting, you got a little tag team, you got a little voiceover, you got a little everything. Everything, I'm represented in every way that I can represent myself. Then I got to do my business page.
There's no result on the first page of Google, and that's big, right? So when you do a search and you get the top result on Google, and then you get the whole first page, there's no result on this first page that's not related to you.
Exactly.
That's huge.
Same with tag team. It used to be all wrestling. Now the knowledge graph, the wrestling is still there, but ours is underneath wrestling. So our knowledge graph is small, but I'm working on that. And then I thought, and see, this is a little bit of my hubris, I thought, I'm done. But then Cleveland Cavaliers called me and was like, man, we was trying to do a deal at the beginning of the season with you. We couldn't find you. I was like, y'all's a lie. Because I know my SEO game. It's like, we couldn't find. I was like, man, I was like, what you type in? She said, we typed in Whomp There It Is. I was like, oh, I forgot about that. Most people don't see. I'm thinking everybody know that tag team did Whomp There It Is. And I go look on Whomp There It Is, and we ain't nowhere to be found. There's all kind of stuff about Whomp There It Is, but nothing that leads them to us. So that's why last year I've been set. Like I'm about to probably drop that. Like I've SEO'd the hell out of that. Like it's gonna be on every page. Whomp There It Is Geico. Whomp There It Is Adam's Family. Whomp There It Is, because I know how it works now, right? And that's how you bring people back to you. So when somebody types in, if I do an interview, say for Ad Week, right? And the CEOs are looking and they type in tag team, it's all us. They type in Whomp There It Is, they see my value because everything on the page has to do with something business because I set it up like that.
We gotta talk.
Yeah, man.
You can do it with a product.
Yeah, man.
You can do it with anything you want to do. I'm about to do it with my acting, my voiceover. Then it go, I didn't talk about the Wikipedia pages. I had to redo the Wikipedia page. Because the Wikipedia page was like, yeah, they're from 1993. They only did shit for 2 years. And then they're from Miami. And, they're considered one-hit wonders. And they tried to do some new shit, but they just failed. I was like, damn, that's what the world is saying about us. I had to change that shit. So I had to learn how to edit Wikipedia page because you can't just edit Wikipedia page. There's a method to it. And I did it. And now what happens is that the first maybe 180 characters propagates to everything that pulled that Wikipedia code to talk about tag team, right? So from all anything, this is what most sites do. They just pull from Wikipedia, use the first 2 lines, and then they put it on their site. So like discography, stuff like that, that's how they do it. And if you got the wrong thing being said about you, ain't nobody gonna mess with you. But when you create your own narrative and set the record straight with tag team and Whomp There It Is, now everybody's interested because you're like, this nostalgic group who 28 years ago made one of the greatest histories and greatest songs in the history of recorded music, Whomp There It Is, now doing concert shows, rodeos, ice capades. You know what I mean? You make it compelling. Then they're gonna want to contact you. Then they're gonna call this number, and then I'll call them back, and then we start to talk, and then we make deals. And isn't that way better than running around these streets trying to meet people, trying to It took me 10 years to learn how to do this because it's a moving target. It always changes, right? So now I got it. And now, like before I got with you guys, I'm up here putting together contact forms and writing codes for this and writing code for that and using short codes for this and trying to figure it out and can't make it work. And boy, but you see that game. You see that tag team all the way down the page. It's working, ain't it?
It is.
It's working. Because then all you got, then I can just say, just type in this. And everybody does it, and everybody's like, whoa, damn, he got this. I can get him here. Well, if I don't get him here, I can get him here. Damn, LinkedIn too. I got software that automates all my social networks. So I do one post, and it goes to every single social media network. Yeah. All of them. Same post. Click of a button. I ain't got to sit there and be on the. I never use a phone for social media. I got automated software. That shit took years. I had to get a Israeli lady to teach me how to do that shit. She from Israel. I couldn't even understand what the hell she was saying. But I was trying, boy. I was trying. I was like, okay. Damn, I gotta take some Hebrew classes. Like I couldn't figure out what the fuck she was saying, but no. But I got it. You see what I'm saying? I got it because I recorded. I got her moves, and then I start eating it one forkful at a time. It's the only way you can eat an elephant. One forkful at a time, man.
Just shit, man. Thank you, brother.
Appreciate you,
man.
Cool bet. I'm out.
Peace.
Peace.
I was in class.
Right? I was mad that I didn't have my notepad to
I was in class. I'm gonna be listening back to this, taking notes and going and calling him like, yo, listen. What you said about this here told me more. Yeah, that's good shit. That's real good shit.
I like
oh man.
I like that we really got to see all of the knowledge, the information that he's obtained, and he's I think every person who makes a record or makes a movie or whatever is more than that thing. right? But we don't get to see the multifaceted nature of individuals. So I'm really happy that in that interview we really got to, we spent about this much time on the song, but the rest was on the voice acting and everything else that he's doing and has done in his career. Man, it's inspiring for sure.
Absolutely. Yeah, man. That's I mean, like I said, that was class for me. I'm inspired. For real. All right. We're gonna wrap this up, but we're gonna come back because there's more, there's a bunch of shit that has to be discussed.
Yes.
We appreciate your watching, appreciate your listening. I don't even know what number this would be because we have to divvy this up some kind of way. But again, if you haven't subscribed already, please subscribe at Unpopin Show, unpopinshow.com, and everywhere, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and drop us a line at unpopinshow@gmail.com. I hit them all right?
Yep.
Yeah.
And
that works.
Search, to find us on YouTube if you're not already, like, subscribe, commented. Just search Unpopin or Unpopin Show, and we should come up in the search. We're still growing. At the beginning of this, I ran down some numbers, so we appreciate any likes, comments. Hit the notification button, share with your friends, tell them to join us. And while supplies last, we're throwing out Unpoppin neck gaiters, and once we hit 100, we're gonna bless somebody with $100 just for being a part of what we're doing, for joining the Unpoppin community. So, thank you.
Word.
Welcome to 2021, and we'll see you on the next one.
Word.
Thanks for checking out the Unpopular Opinion Show. If you like this content, make sure you like, subscribe, and smash the notification button down below so you can keep getting more from T-Storm and myself.
Yeah, more jokes coming on. No, they beep. Damn it. Okay, fine.